Hello, my dears. What? No. Hang on a minute. Go and get. Alright, mate, yeah. Okie dokie. Right. They're going to get some fish and chips. The Shy Sai. Or Shy Sai Guy. Or Shy Guy Sai, that's what Rob's calling him. Although he ain't much better. They'll be like, don't film me. Rob's going, I ain't had me fucking haircut. I was like, oh Jesus Christ. Vanity, eh? We're at the Quayside in Rye, and this is where the fishing boats go in early in the morning, normally about 5 o'clock. Riverhaven Hotel is there. That's very nice. I've stayed there. It's very nice. Such pretties. Oh, one's legs are aching from the walking yesterday. Talking of such pretties, you're going to be seeing in a minute. I'll try and keep each video to 35 minutes, because the one I downloaded last night at the nature reserve and that, it gets all the way to 35 minutes and so many seconds, and then it mutes the sound after 35 minutes and so many seconds, and that kind of thing pees me off. So, but I'll be downloading it onto YouTube anyway, so okay. Well, it is on YouTube. I'll be downloading it onto the Facebook page, so anyone that wants to watch the end bit can, with sound, can. I don't know if they're seagulls or oyster catchers, them down there. They're a bit small for seagulls. I think they're more of those oyster catchers. The tide's out, of course. A dock. Some of the people live in these boats. Whether they live in them all year round. And this is lovely, look, the Quayside in Rye. I'll save the nicest bit to in a minute, which is Mermaid Street. But when it's nice and warm and dry, this is the fish and chip spot where a lot of people sit. But the only trouble with that is you do literally get bombarded by seagulls, and they're really aggressive. Like, they carry flick blades and stuff. Look, like this one here, look. Get a chip out, they pin you to the ground. Alright, Oswin? You okay? Alright? Don't get too near, because they can turn quite aggressive, seagulls. Give you a little teaser. That's where we're going to be going in a minute. Switch arms, got arm ache. It's the only trouble with all this filming. But this is obviously different to my London stuff, so I wanted to give you some different views and whatnot. This is a nice little spot. The storm was past, or is passing now. Got the nice weather this side, and the storm on that side. But we missed pretty much most of it. Fellas are going to go and get the lunch. I'm going to film Mermaid Street, and we'll meet each other up at the church, at St Mary's Church, have our lunch. Kettle Fish, which is the fish and chip shop we get our lunch from. It's nice in there. They cook it all fresh as well, so it does take about 25 minutes, half an hour, but worth the wait. It's something I wanted to give you a little glimpse of. A windmill, and that's a B&B. You can go and stay in that. Pricey, but worth it. Right, and we shall cross over. Well, it's pretty quiet for Rye. It's normally quite busy. Ah, the ice cream parlour's still open. They do the nicest Belgian chocolate ice cream you've ever tasted. Rye Heritage Centre. These would have been the old fish drying houses and net drying houses back in the day. And this is all done up for Her Majesty's Jubilee, of course. Right. Here we go. We're at 5 minutes. Oh, brilliant. We'll be able to do Mermaid Street and get to the church. If I go over 35 minutes, they have to go on YouTube and then download it onto the Facebook page. And I know not everyone's good with YouTube, are they? Let's get this. Umbrella's catching on things again. I must remember to pull it out of the bag before I go into the church or any buildings. Oh, crumbs. I've got a blister on my foot and my leg's aching. But you know what? I don't give a shit. Because this is definitely Rye is my favourite place on earth. And I've been to some different places. Like when I was younger, my dad was a cabbie, and he was a hard-working man. So we had a pretty decent childhood, like with holidays and things like that. I went to a few different places. Went to Disney World twice, Portaventura, Gran Canaria Islands. Been a few places in here, England as well, Devon and Cornwall. Here we are, Mermaid Street. This street is voted was voted England's most picturesque or pretty street for 5 years running. (1490). That's when the French attacked the town. Rebuilt 1490. You'll be seeing the ancient Mermaid Inn, which is very haunted. Anyone that wants to see the ghost story of that, watch Michaela Strachan's Ghosts of Britain and you shall see. Yeah, you can see it's a nice, very steep. Jeek's house. A lot of the B&Bs are along here. You can go and stay in the Mermaid Inn B&B. Oh, that's been me nearly went over. But it's expensive in there. And me and my mates, last time we was here, we went and had a drink in there because we'd been to the nature reserve and on the beach all day. So obviously you don't dress up really fancy, do you? And we was like a bit rough and ready looking. Christ, they was really snooty, they were. So we've never been in there since. But this is one of the nicest houses. 1490. Pretty much everything was rebuilt along here in 1490. All the timber frame stuff. Some of the houses are later. This one here is another B&B. Very nice. But we're coming up to the Mermaid Inn now. There we are. The ancient Mermaid Inn. Saying that, it wasn't all of them that was snooty, it was just one bloke that was in there. And you know, that kind of thing puts you off, doesn't it? Particularly when you consider it wasn't cheap for that pint of beer either. There we are. This street in the 1700s was actually a no-go area, believe it or not. Might be picturesque and pretty now, but in the 18th century it was a no-go area. It was the lair of loads of highwaymen. I forget the name of the gang. They was like a gang or whatnot of highwaymen, and they operated out of Mermaid Street. And you took your life into your own hands going down Mermaid Street in those days. Yeah. Don't that just look real fun and pretty? And when I think it was the first year I came to Rye, I took a picture here at this spot with a really decent Nikon camera, and it was just full of hundreds and hundreds of orbs. It looked like orbs, and it was a wet day as well, so I thought, might have been dust, but I don't think it was. But yeah, I've shared the picture before ages ago. But yeah, Mermaid Street is notoriously haunted. But yeah, this is the Mermaid Inn. Oh no, the road's closed. Oh, it's the pavement is still open. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to get to the churchyard. I'll film around the outside of the church, get to the churchyard. We'll have our lunch. We are Mermaid Street. And the view in the distance, very nice. Right, now we're going to go around this way. There's something quite interesting up here. Apart from the church, which is absolutely it's a beautiful church. You should all enjoy the hopefully if you like churches you'll enjoy the video of that one today, and that's the main focus point of today, is the church. Pardon me. If it's open you can climb all the way up to the church tower, but in bad weather they sometimes close it. So 1965, in a garden house on this site, destroyed in an air raid on the 18th of August 1940. Henry James wrote many of his novels. A famous novelist lived here or wrote his novels here. In Lamb House, which is what this was, lived E.F. Benson from 1919 to 1940, and A.C. Benson from 1922 to 1925, brothers and writers. And Henry James as well. So obviously a little bit of a poetical area. And here we have St Mary's Church. I'll switch arms again for my phone because my arm is aching. This is a gorgeous church. I mean, my favourite church is Barking in St Margaret's in Barking, which was Essex in the old days, London now. But that's because of my strong family ties. But interestingly enough, as I said yesterday, found out that one of my mum's ancestors was born in Rye. And it's interesting because I couldn't find where this man was born. And it shows up in Nottingham years after his birth. The family was quite not rich but comfortably off. Mr. Edward Hall, his name was. And yeah, he was a bit of an interesting character. But yeah, he was born in Rye and christened in this church. Cut a long story short. And that was thunder, so it looks like we may get another thunderstorm. But yeah, it's a beautiful church. And if we can climb up to the church tower, which I'm not sure if that will be open today because of the bad weather, we'll do that. But we're back in the town tomorrow, so, and it's meant to be nicer tomorrow, so fingers crossed. And the church is surrounded by some beautiful houses as well, so everybody happy. And this is the exit where you get out. All old timber frame houses over here. Stained glass looks very plain and boring from the outside, but you'll be pleasantly surprised on the inside. I'm taking you around to this bit because there are two interesting things. One which we should be seeing either today or tomorrow, depending on time, which I'll show you now, once the people have gone from it. How dare people walk near where I want to film? How dare they? Memorial cross for the First World War. That one, but there's the church. Castle, which unfortunately looks as if it's closed today. Sorry, that's a Rye Town Castle. Little mini castle, and the town jail is in there as well. You get some gorgeous views from down there, which we'll see later on or tomorrow. As I say, the main focus point today is this church. Well, that was the first interesting thing I wanted to show you. I will walk on the grass because I don't want to walk past people's cars with my umbrella poking out. I've got gravestones over there, but yeah, you can see it's a lovely place. And the other interesting thing is over here, which is a water tower. For in the old days when they didn't have mains running water, their water was stored in this wee contraption. We'll see the other side of that later on or tomorrow. Flying buttresses that hold the wall in place, hold the walls in place. But yeah, that was water storage. That was in there. So it's like a great big well type thing. Right. I think the tower is open, so that's handy. We'll do that one first. Just show you this street because it's a beautiful little street. And you've got the old English tea rooms there, Simon the Pieman. It's a beautiful place, isn't it, Rye? Right, so I'll end this one and begin you again inside. See you all soon.